everyone, in this video today I'm going to be discussing sleep issues in pandas and PANS. Now, the diagnostic criteria for PANS is abrupt onset, OCD and or food restriction plus at least 2 other symptoms. And the other symptoms, one of them is somatic signs, which can include sleep disturbances. So the sleep disturbances that can occur in pandas and PANS can include insomnia, and this can be sleep onset insomnia, which is where you have difficulty falling asleep, or sleep maintenance insomnia, where you have difficulty maintaining sleep. So you might wake up in the night or wake up too early. So with sleep onset insomnia, people might lie there wondering why they have not drifted off to sleep for hours. They'll just lie there and they just can't drift off no matter how much they want to. And then this can lead to a lot of frustration, because then you're thinking, why am I not asleep? How am I going to function the next day? And then it causes a lot of anxiety, which can make it even worse. And then, you know, because you've got so little sleep, people cannot function the next day. And this can affect schooling. People might not be able to even go to school the next day because they're so sleep deprived that they can't function. And also, lack of sleep can also exacerbate the rest of the symptoms. For me, I know that lack of sleep seemed to greatly exacerbate the loss of motor coordination. So it makes the other symptoms worse. It makes the other symptoms worse as well. And another thing is, sleep is actually vital for like detoxifying the brain and decreasing brain inflammation. But of course, if you can't sleep, then it's going to make things worse. But it's horrible because it's one of the symptoms itself. So it's kind of a catch-22 thing. And the sleep maintenance insomnia is really frustrating as well, because you'll get to sleep and you might wake up after 3 or 4 hours and then be completely unable to get back to sleep. And then again, trying to function when really, really sleep deprived. And that could be a massive issue for some people. And in some cases, it can be really debilitating. And then there's REM behaviour disorder. Some people with pandas and PANS can experience this. It's where during rapid eye movement, which is where it's your dreaming state, and it's where you are usually paralysed during sleep. However, somebody with REM sleep behaviour disorder isn't, and they may actually act out their dreams or like talk or just have strange behaviours whilst they're actually asleep. And this can cause issues because people might injure themselves, they might fall out of bed, and it can obviously be shocking to the people around them as well. But that can be part of pandas and PANS. And then there's also delayed sleep phase wake disorder, which can be part of it, which is where people's biological clock is out of sync. So for example, if a person's normal bedtime is like 9 p.m, they may lie there for hours until 1 a.m. and be unable to sleep. But if they went to bed at 1 a.m, then they would sleep fine, because it's your biological clock that's out of sync. And I definitely had this. It's kind of like I turned nocturnal, because for a few months I would lie there and I couldn't actually get to bed until about 5 a.m. Like I couldn't actually get to sleep till about 5 a.m. And then I just started going to bed about like really late at night, because then it was easier for me to sleep, because my biological clock had somehow changed due to the inflammation in my brain. And also another massive issue, of course, that people face is with the anxiety. Some people have separation anxiety so severe that they struggle to actually sleep in a room on their own. People might want to sleep in their parents' bedroom, or might want their parent or maybe a sibling to sleep with them in their room. I had that quite a lot when I was younger. Thankfully, I don't have it at all now. But when I was younger, my dad did actually used to sleep on the floor next to me as I was drifting off to sleep until I was 13 years old, because it's separation anxiety based. And some people with OCD as well might struggle to sleep on their own, as they might have fears that somebody's going to rob them, or that they may die in the night or something. So that can obviously be a massive issue as well. And some people's OCD, they won't sleep in their own bed. Maybe their OCD is telling them they can't touch that fabric of the covers or something like that. So that can have a major impact as well. Some people also have bedtime wetting, called enuresis. The urinary symptoms are also very common in pandas and PANS, but people with this may have a sudden onset of bedwetting, when they didn't have it before, and of course that can cause issues as well. And there are also many other issues that people may have. Various parasomnias. Parasomnias are just where you might experience strange perceptions, behaviours, actions, thoughts in your sleep. And there are many different types, so I can't go through all of them, but some people might have something called exploding head syndrome, which obviously not where your head actually explodes, but it's where when you're drifting off to sleep you might hear loud sort of banging sounds, sort of like a gunshot going off. Some people might have hypnagogic hallucinations, which is where they may hallucinate either as they're going to sleep or waking up. And there was also a very strange thing that I had, which is where after 3 hours, maybe that's where you're supposed to go into the dream state, I'm not too sure, but after 3 hours every night I would start hearing my thoughts in my sleep. And it's very strange because it's kind of like the OCD in my sleep, in a way, because it was still doing the mental compulsions even though I was pretty much asleep, and then I'd suddenly wake up. A lot of people as well with PANDAS and PANS have nightmares and even night terrors, and the nightmares can be really bad for some people. I know that I had those when I was younger, quite a lot, and that can be terrifying for somebody, and a person with PANDAS and PANS may avoid going to bed due to this, because it obviously worsens anxiety, therefore can worsen insomnia and all of that stuff. And people may also, with the night terrors, a night terror is where somebody might wake up very suddenly with intense feelings of fear and panic, and sometimes people are just very shocked, and sometimes people usually don't remember the dream that triggered it, but sometimes people might remember some of it, but that can obviously cause a lot of anxiety as well. And in general, just with PANDAS and PANS, getting to sleep can be very difficult when you have so many intrusive thoughts and so much anxiety and stuff. So sleep is definitely a massive issue for people with PANDAS and PANS, and I think that it's something that people need to be aware of, because obviously the OCD is debilitating, the anxiety is debilitating, but then the sleep issues also impact your functioning the next day, and then it all adds up, and it can even exacerbate symptoms, and you can hardly function because you've got hardly any sleep. I hope that this is informative. Thank you for watching. Bye.